Before dawn, the desert air over Arizona's Highway 66 felt colder than usual. The long stretch of empty road looked endless, surrounded by dark hills, old gas stations, and abandoned buildings that had been forgotten decades ago. Truck drivers passed through every night, carrying supplies across states, but most avoided stopping unless absolutely necessary. Around 2:13 a.m., a truck carrying electronics from California to New Mexico suddenly stopped moving. Then, something even stranger happened. The GPS signal went dead. The truck belonged to 42-year-old Daniel Mercer, a quiet and experienced driver from Oklahoma. Daniel had been driving trucks for almost 15 years. He was known for never missing deliveries, never taking strange detours, and always checking in with dispatch every few hours. That night, everything seemed normal at first. At 12:47 a.m., Daniel stopped at a small gas station near Kingman, Arizona. Security footage showed him walking inside, buying black coffee and a sandwich. He looked tired but calm. The cashier later told police Daniel seemed distracted, glancing outside several times as if someone had been watching him. "You all right?" the cashier asked. Daniel hesitated before answering. "Yeah, just got a weird feeling tonight." Nobody thought much about those words until later. At 1:26 a.m., Daniel called dispatch. His voice sounded normal. "About 3 hours out," he said. "Roads empty tonight." Then he paused. "Actually, there's been this black SUV behind me for a while." Dispatch laughed softly. "You're getting paranoid, Danny." "Maybe," Daniel replied. "Just feels strange." That was the last normal conversation anyone ever had with him. At exactly 2:13 a.m., Daniel's truck GPS suddenly stopped near a forgotten stretch of Highway 66, 30 miles from the nearest town. No breakdown alert. No emergency signal. No phone call. Just silence. At first, the company assumed it was a technical problem. GPS systems failed all the time in remote desert areas. But by morning, Daniel had still not checked in. Calls went straight to voicemail. By noon, his family reported him missing. The Arizona State Police started searching the highway. Around sunset, officers finally found Daniel's truck. It sat alone on the side of the road. The engine was still warm. The driver's door was open. Daniel was gone. Nothing looked stolen. His wallet remained inside. His coffee cup sat untouched in the holder. The truck keys were missing, but strangely, the trailer cargo had never been opened. Then investigators found something disturbing. Fresh footprints surrounded the truck. Not one set. 3 different sets. One belonged to Daniel's work boots. The other 2 came from unknown people. Even stranger, the footprints suddenly disappeared 20 yards into the desert, as if whoever walked there had vanished into thin air. Detective Marcus Hayes took over the case. Marcus had worked missing person cases for years, but something about this one bothered him immediately. People didn't just disappear from highways, especially experienced truck drivers. He reviewed Daniel's phone records. Most calls were normal, except one strange detail. At 1:57 a.m., 16 minutes before the GPS died, Daniel made a 12-second phone call to an unknown number. No words were recorded, but dispatch data revealed something strange. The call connected, then ended instantly. Police traced the number. It was disconnected, registered under a fake name. Marcus then watched traffic camera footage from Highway 66. For almost 40 miles, Daniel's truck could be seen driving normally. And behind him, a black SUV. No license plate visible. Always keeping distance. Never passing him. At exactly 2:08 a.m., 5 minutes before the GPS stopped, the SUV disappeared from camera footage. So did Daniel's truck. The next camera never captured either vehicle. It was as if both vanished between checkpoints. Detectives searched nearby roads but found nothing. No crashed vehicle. No abandoned SUV. No sign of Daniel. 3 days passed. Then something unexpected happened. A waitress from a roadside diner called police. She claimed she saw Daniel the night he disappeared. According to her, around 2:30 a.m., a nervous man matching Daniel's description walked into the diner with two unknown men. He looked scared, she said. They kept talking for him. One of the men ordered coffee. The other never removed his sunglasses, even though it was the middle of the night. The waitress remembered Daniel trying to make eye contact several times, like he wanted help. Then, suddenly, the group left. She assumed they were friends. But one detail terrified detectives. The diner stood 50 miles away from where Daniel's truck had been found, meaning someone had moved him. Fast. Police checked security cameras. The footage existed. But strangely, at exactly 2:31 a.m., the camera feed glitched for 11 minutes. When it returned, the men were gone. Marcus stared at the broken footage again and again. It felt intentional. Someone didn't want Daniel seen. A week later, search teams discovered fresh tire marks deep in the desert near an abandoned mining road. The tracks belonged to an SUV. Nearby, officers found something buried under sand. Daniel's truck keys. And beside them, a burned cell phone. Forensics recovered partial data. The final text message sent from Daniel's phone read, "Something's wrong," but it was never delivered. Then came the strangest discovery of all. A local hunter approached police. He claimed that around 3 a.m. the night Daniel disappeared, he saw headlights near an abandoned motel called Red Hollow Inn. The motel had been shut down for years. Nobody should have been there. Marcus visited immediately. The building stood isolated in the middle of nowhere, windows shattered, paint peeling from walls. Inside, dust covered everything. Except one room. Room 12 looked recently cleaned. Fresh footprints. Coffee cups. Food wrappers. And on the wall, a map of Arizona highways. Highway 66 had been circled in red marker. Pinned beside it were photographs of truck drivers, including Daniel Mercer. Marcus felt cold. This wasn't random. Someone had been watching truckers, planning something. Police dug deeper. Over the past 4 years, 6 truck drivers had disappeared across western highways. All unsolved. All near isolated roads. And all had strange GPS failures. Nobody connected the cases before. Until now. The media exploded. People called it the Ghost Highway Case. Truck drivers grew terrified. Some refused night routes entirely. Then Marcus received an anonymous envelope at his office. No return address. Inside was a single photograph. Daniel sitting in a chair. Alive. Looking terrified. Written on the back, "Stop looking." Marcus immediately sent the photo for analysis. It was recent. Less than 48 hours old. Daniel was alive. But where? The background showed part of a blue wall with faded numbers. Detectives enhanced the image. The number read 12. Same as the motel room. Marcus returned to Red Hollow Inn with a larger team. They searched everything. Finally, beneath loose floorboards in room 12, officers discovered a hidden tunnel leading underground. The air smelled rotten. Flashlights shook in officers' hands. The tunnel stretched deeper beneath the motel. Then they found it. A hidden room. Inside sat chains. Food containers. Medical supplies. And surveillance monitors connected to cameras placed along Highway 66. Someone had been tracking drivers. Hunting them. But the room was empty. Whoever used it had escaped hours earlier. Then an officer noticed something scratched into the wall. 3 words. Don't trust him. Nobody understood what it meant. Until Marcus received terrible news. Someone had accessed evidence files from inside the police department. Only detectives had clearance. That meant one thing. There was a leak. Someone close to the investigation was helping the kidnappers. Marcus reviewed department logs. One name appeared repeatedly. Detective Alan Pierce. A respected officer. Marcus confronted him privately. At first, Alan denied everything. Then Marcus mentioned the photo. Alan's face changed. Fear. Panic. He ran. Police chased him across the parking garage. Cornered at gunpoint, Alan finally broke. He confessed. But the truth shocked everyone. Alan wasn't the mastermind. He only helped cover tracks. The real leader was someone nobody suspected. Retired Highway Patrol Officer Stephen Vance. For years, Stephen used his police knowledge to target isolated truck drivers carrying expensive cargo information. Most victims were kidnapped, threatened, robbed quietly, then released far away. But Daniel saw something he shouldn't have. A hidden operation involving stolen electronics. That made him dangerous. So they kept him alive. Hidden. Marcus demanded Daniel's location. Alan whispered only one thing. The warehouse near mile marker 88. Police moved fast. SWAT teams surrounded an abandoned warehouse before sunrise. Inside, darkness covered everything. Then, a sound. Someone yelling. "Help!" Police rushed in. Daniel sat tied to a chair inside a locked office. Weak. Exhausted. But alive. The kidnappers tried escaping through the back. Gunfire echoed. 2 suspects were arrested. Stephen Vance disappeared into the desert. For 3 days, helicopters searched. Finally, officers found his abandoned SUV near a canyon edge. The driver's door stood open. Keys inside. No sign of Stephen. No footprints. Nothing. It was as if he vanished. Some believed he died in the desert. Others believed he escaped. Nobody knew. Daniel later revealed what happened. After noticing the black SUV following him, he pulled over briefly. That's when fake police lights appeared behind him. Stephen, dressed like an officer, approached. Daniel trusted him. Until everything changed. They forced him into another vehicle, shut off the GPS, and threatened him to stay silent. Daniel said something haunted him most. Every night in captivity, Stephen repeated the same sentence. "You truckers think empty roads mean freedom." Then Daniel paused. "But Highway 66." He looked down. "That road hides things people never see." The case officially closed 6 months later. Stephen Vance remained missing. No body. No arrest. Nothing. But strange reports continued. Truck drivers crossing Arizona sometimes claimed a black SUV still followed them late at night. Always keeping distance. Never passing. And sometimes, for only a second, their GPS screen suddenly froze near mile marker 88. Then returned to normal. As if someone was still watching the highway. Waiting for the next driver.